Another Asian American woman is murdered in the US, but Western media sycophants still refuse to see a link between this violence and the massive increase in anti-China media reports there. And ASPI's self-titled Google Maps expert, Nathan Ruser, mad that his amateur report's been debunked, has come to their defense. Also today, an American athlete says he was blocked from Twitter for criticizing US media reports on Beijing 2022. Let's get reporting. Hello, 大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博然。Hey you guys, welcome back to Reports on China. I'm Andy. Firstly, I want to thank you all for your amazing messages on my Uyghur snow video yesterday. I've read them all, but unfortunately I can't reply to each and every one. So I just want you guys to know that your support does mean a lot. Thank you so much. Another Asian American woman has been murdered in a random and senseless attack in the US. This time a young Korean American who was followed home by a stranger and then stabbed to death. This comes after countless other random attacks on Asians there, including a woman who was randomly smacked around the head with a baseball bat on the street, and a woman who was pushed in front of an oncoming train in New York's subway. But mainstream media there refused to draw a link between these random violent attacks and the increase in anti-China propaganda that now flows freely from US media. Yesterday I posted on Twitter, clearly laying the blame for these attacks on those who are ramping up anti-China hatred. I said, Asian American women are being stabbed to death, pushed in front of trains, and bashed with bats at an alarming rate in the US. Don't f***ing tell me it has nothing to do with the flood of disgusting anti-China reports in Western media. Don't f***ing tell me it has nothing to do with the sharp increase in the vilification of Asian American women by Asian American women in Western mainstream media of late. It needs to end, starting with the group of largely Asian American women reporters who the mainstream Western media have sicked on the Beijing 2022 Games to stoke anti-Asian sentiment in the US. Melissa Chan, Sui Lee, Amy Chin, you all have blood on your hands. Now, the reason I mention these three Asian American reporters is because they have been particularly toxic in their negative coverage of the Beijing 2022 Games, and especially in their attacks on fellow Asian Americans like Eileen Gu. I truly believe that these reporters and others like them need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and consider their impact on anti-Asian hate crimes that are now sweeping across the United States. I want to use this opportunity to express my sincere condolences to the loved ones of the recent victims of these hideous crimes. I really hope something can be done ASAP to stop these hideous killings. Nathan Ruser, a co-author of the Australian Strategic Policy Institute's Uyghurs for Sale report, came to their defence, stooping to name-calling, which just further goes to show how unprofessional and unhinged he is. He called for his followers to report my account, saying, "This lazy and irresponsible tweet by a State-media Tankie continues the misogynistic and racist trope of attacking Asian women in the media, now explicitly blaming them for hate crimes. Please report this misogynistic piece of trash, the tweet and person." I replied, pointing out that Nathan is just mad about my recent videos detailing Jack James's legal obliteration of his terrible report, which pointed out that instead of helping Uyghur people, his report took away the human rights and livelihoods of thousands in Xinjiang. I asked his followers to watch my videos and see the damage he's caused. But what did he do? You guessed it, he hid all of my replies so that no one can see just what an inept and gutless person he is. It's always funny when Westerners who love to argue that Chinese media needs more freedom stifle freedom of speech. Oh well. But it did get me thinking, why is this amateur Australian ASPI sycophant supporting US reporters? I think it's clear. ASPI is not an independent think tank. They are all working together. I just hope next time they skip Nathan and get someone a little bit more adequate to help write their reports, at least for their own credibility. Finally today, the South China Morning Post, in an uncharacteristically fair piece, reports that US skier Aaron Blunk says his Twitter account was suspended after praising Beijing 2022. First, let's take a quick look at what he said.
As China being here for Beijing 2022, they have honestly done a stellar job with the whole COVID protocol. I didn't really know what to expect. Being stateside, you kind of heard some pretty bad media, and that is completely false. It's actually been phenomenal. You go and sit down You get up, they sanitize everything. Everything's in glass bubbles, as you can see here. And I don't know, I just think that it was kind of being a little bit downsized and treated like it was not very good. And it's been so rad, and China has done such a sick job. And everybody from staff to COVID testers to accommodation, it's probably honestly one of the better Olympics that we've been to. So that's really cool.
According to the South China Morning Post, the 25-year-old said his Twitter account was then suspended as he resorted to Instagram to protest the social platform's unexplained decision, reposting a fan's comment that read, "Aaron Blunk is out here telling the truth and getting punished by his own government." Blunk further shared a commentator's tweet accusing the US government of being behind his account being shut down. Twitter has executed the order of the Western ruling cabals. Punishment comes pretty fast. Blunk tagged Twitter and asked, "What did I do?" Well, as we all know pretty well, you need to toe the party line in the US, and if not, you will definitely be silenced. Anyway guys, that's all I have time for today, but please let me know what you think down below, and as always, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.